One of the most important things that I've always said to every crew that I send out to a job site is if any customer or anyone on your customer's job site asks you to do something, get it in writing. I used to tell my crews, even if you get it written on a piece of toilet paper, as long as you can give me something in writing, if there's a cost involved, we can get reimbursed for that. We can get paid for that. So, sometimes they tell you they need something done really quickly. There's no time to wait for a change order and so on. But that they'll, we can add it to the contract later and whatever. Never believe anybody who tells you something verbally. If it's not in writing, it did not happen. That person could be fired tomorrow. They could leave to go somewhere else and whatever. And then you have no leg to stand on when it comes to claiming additional costs for any extra work you've done. So that's why we created the site instruction form on job site forms. It is a little bit of extra insurance when one of your customers tells you to do something on site and there's no time to wait for a change order. So like all of our forms, it's really super simple. You would select the company name that's set up in my company profiles and the logo that's set up in my logo. If this is a field user account, this would be set up usually with the estimator or project manager or whoever the field crew reports to in my company profile so that the form will automatically send to whoever's email address is there. Next up is your project name and your client name, and that would be set up in the customers and projects section. Again, this is often done by an admin person or by the estimator or project manager who manages that particular field crew so that they don't have to do that extra work. And it's a one-time thing. You set up the project once and then they can just select it from the drop-down menu and add it to their project file. Next up is your site instruction number. And again, if you are using a field user account as a single user and you've only got one job, this will cache the information that you had on the last site instruction. So you can just look at the number over here, see what was done last time, and then add one to it. Or you can go look up in my files. Everything that you've done will be saved there. So you can go look up all your previous site instructions and see what the last site instruction for that particular project was. And then you'll know which number you need to do next. Or you can just leave it blank. It will automatically include this prefix SI on your My Files listing. That is so that when you're searching documents, you can look for that prefix and you'll be able to filter for just those documents. Next up is revision number, and this will normally stay 0 for this kind of thing because we don't usually do revisions on site instructions, but we've got it there just in case you need to do that. Next is the date, and like all of the dates, it's just to select the date from the calendar. And then we've got this description, and this you can just type in whatever it is. So customer asked us to move widget on west side to east side in order to improve access. Very simple. Doesn't have to be a lot of complicated stuff. If the estimator or project manager who's receiving this needs more information, they can just contact you and ask you for that information. Next up is the requester information. So that's going to be the contact name, which again is set up in my project, what their role is, because you want to make sure that whoever's asking you to do something has the authority to ask you to do that. And again, that's not up to field crews to understand or to know how that works. But if your estimator, project manager, branch manager, company owner, whatever, receives a site instruction and it's got somebody listed here who's not entitled or not authorized to give that instruction, they can immediately pick up the phone and tell you, listen, don't do whatever they've said until I've spoken to the client or whatever it might be. Again, these forms are A, to record what actually happens on C, to give you the kind of legal backing to do things like change orders, and C, as a communication tool between the field and the office, because that's really what good construction comes down to, communication 90% of the time. So next up, you got the request to email. So that would be whatever the email address is. And then you can actually upload a signature over here. So if you're doing this on your phone, you can select a photograph of a signature that you've taken with your phone, upload it. So you'd select it first from your phone and then upload it. When it says 100% over here, it's going to actually be attached there. So you can actually sign this in real time on site so that you've got a signed copy of this. If you don't do that, when it gets to estimator, project manager, branch manager, whoever is set up as the contact on your account, they can contact the customer and say, we've just got the site instruction. We need a signature before we can carry on with the work. So you can work out a process in your own company how you want to do this. If you want to get somebody to sign it on site, then it's fine. Then you can just take the photo and you can actually just select files and then just go straight into the camera on your phone, take the picture of the signature, upload it, and it's done. Or you might want to have your crew say, look, we've sent the site instruction to the office. They're going to have a look at it. And as soon as it's been sent to someone for a signature, they'll let us know and we can do the work for you. How you want to manage that is up to you. But the important thing is that you get this in writing so that you have that legal leg to stand on when it comes to these kinds of things, because they're literally not worth the paper they're written on. So if someone tells you to do something and then they deny it later on, they forgot about it later on, they're not there for whatever reason, you probably won't be getting paid for that extra work. So that's how we lose money on projects. And this site instruction form on job site forms is designed to help prevent that from happening. As always, all you need to do to actually create this form is hit the generate document button and it will give you a formatted document ready to go. This is the preview. It does look a little different when you go to the PDF version. I'm not going to do that right now, but it is all formatted to print on a letter-sized sheet, so it's ready to go. Yeah, so that's how site instructions work on job site forms and why they're important. And